Hey everybody, welcome to the 93rd SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream. I'm going to do it with a microphone, and I think the show is going to go much better. How's that sound right about now? Sound pretty good? Let's do this. We are starting a few minutes late. I was a little bit extra ambitious about tonight's show, so let's start fresh right now. You didn't miss anything. I'm going to tell you what I just said. Okay, I'm here for your questions. My name's Jonathan. I teach the guitar. I would love to come and watch you do your job. I think here you are watching me do my job. We have a poll up and running, and the poll is inspired by a band who's going to be playing across the street in the next few days. It's a Beatles tribute band. If you could instantly be a Beatles master on any Beatles instrument, guitar, bass, drums, and we're also a great singer, ready to kick in those harmonies and lead vocals, which Beatle would you choose to be? If you could be in a Beatles tribute band, John, George, Paul, Ringo. I know this is a guitar show. Maybe you want to be Ringo. Why not? What's more fun than being Ringo, right? Sitting up there in that riser, banging away. You know, Ringo was a lefty who played like a righty, and that for sure had an effect on how he played the drums. I heard it on the internet. Okay, so 2 Ringos in the poll. Hold on a second here. I don't doubt you. Okay, let's start fresh. Okay, we're going to end that one. What is going on in this place? Okay, so bear with me. All you people in the chat, we're going to vote again. By the way, it looks like George was in the lead. No, George and Paul were tied. Okay, let's try this again. Which Beatle would you be? The first concert I ever went to was a Beatles tribute band, the Beatlemania band in the city of Boston many, many, many years ago. That was the first ever, real concert I ever went to. And you know what? What a great way to start. That was super fun. Okay, now let's do this with all 4 Beatles represented. Okay, if you already voted, I'm going to ask you to vote again. We vote twice here on SongBike. Okay, in between your questions, number 1, I'm going to get to 2 questions that I missed last week. So if Rick G or Bill R, if you are watching right now, I'm going to answer your questions from last time. Don't forget, if you have a question for me, and I hope you do, put a whole bunch of question marks in advance so I know your question is aimed at me. Okay, so we're going to get to those 2 questions, Rick G and Bill R's questions for last week. We're going to talk about Brian Setzer. What an all-star. Brian Setzer has had some health issues, but I think he's on the way back. So we're going to talk about that for a minute. I have a lesson you never forget that I'm calling the William Tell exercise because it's based on the William Tell Overture. I think you'll get a kick out of that. We're going to do that today. We're going to do not 1, not 2, but 3 virtual guitar play-alongs. And all 3 songs that we're going to do tonight are connected. There's a theme. It's something that I've been meaning to do for a while because of the requests I get from my students. And I thought, well, let's just bang out 3 of them right in a row. Stay tuned. But we're going to start sooner than you think. So grab a guitar. You'll need a capo eventually. You don't need it for the first 2, but you need a capo eventually tonight. But we're going to do our first play along sooner than we usually do. So get ready. What else? I'm going to talk to you about some other folks that are coming through town. I have a dumb question of the week. I ask it, so you don't have to. What else do you have? Want to say hi to my mom? Hey, Mom. Want to say hi to a music fan, the moderator I am married to. Thank you for being here, music fan. We have another lesson you'll never forget. Remember last week, I promised you that we were going to get into playing lead guitar in the key of G, targeting certain notes using the G major pentatonic. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do that as promised from last time. Ooh, I have show and tell about my music stand light that I got, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. Ooh, look at that. See that red look on my face? Ooh, that's all shall be revealed. Yeah. man. So, should I sell out? A little update for you about me selling out to institutions, corporations that have requested that I consider promoting their products to you. So, okay, that's what's going on with me. I'm going to say a few hellos and then we'll get down to it. Lots of people in the chat tonight. Six String Greg, thank you for being here. Matt, John, Charlie, Pooba John, Randy Wingo, William Collier, Scott, Ralph, Joseph. They're in Oklahoma City. Rock Lobster, hello. People are checking in from Oklahoma, from Utah, from Maine, from New York, from Southern California. Joseph Galasso, thank you for being here. Lots of you guys know I get a kick out of knowing where you're at. Charlie Beagle is concerned that you got to be cute to be Paul in a Beatles tribute band. Let's not factor that into. All the Beatles were cute in their own way, right? Yeah. Ralph checking in from Fayetteville. Ralph, don't worry. You got family arriving. Don't worry, Ralph. It's gonna be a good show. And you just watch it later. You guys know that, right? All these shows are recorded. And you can watch all these shows later. In fact, I have a playlist of all these live streams, the 92 that came before this. Pooba John is checking in from Connecticut, of course. All right. So let's get right down to it. Let's get warmed up on that William Tell exercise. Why not, man? Let's do it. Ray checking in from St. Louis. Awesome. I love two things. I love seeing all the regulars in the chat, and I love seeing new names in the chat. So if you are joining us for the first time, that's awesome. Okay, the William Tell exercise. Give it a minute, but knock on wood, the William Tell exercise is going to appear on your screen. If your screen goes black for a moment, fear not. So good old William Tell. Here's what we're looking at. In case you don't recall the William Tell Overture, it sounds like. Hey, we gotta scroll down a little bit. I'm gonna make it smaller. Hey, where's the? Oh, it goes on to the next page. Dang it! But don't worry, we'll work around that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so why did I think of this song with my students in mind? Down up picking. Who's got two thumbs and loves down up picking? This guy. Okay, the reason why the William Tell Overture is so relevant to down up picking is that da-da-dun, 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 that galloping kind of sound, right? In my mind, that's a cool descriptive word, that galloping. The only way to play that type of rhythm fast and smooth is to employ down up picking. So I'm going to make the tab on the page a little bit larger. I'm sorry that last line got cut off and goes on to page 2, but don't worry about that yet. Okay, for the record, see my cursor pointing at that boxy shape above that very first 0? That means to pluck down with your pick. See that thing that looks like a V? That means to pluck up with a pick. You guys know that, right? Down, up. I did not invent those symbols. We guitar players borrow those from violinists who use those symbols to indicate a down bow and an up bow. Okay, those down up indications are mandatory. That is exactly why we're doing this. If there's a note like the third 0 that has nothing up above it, by default, it's a downstroke, okay? One, in case this is not 100% clear, in case you don't notice the pattern right away, when notes are connected with that black beam, like the first 2 zeros, connected notes, those are 8th notes. Connected notes are always downs, are down up. Certainly in this exercise, they are. Are there exceptions in the world? Sure, of course. But in this exercise, when you see 2 notes that are connected, 2 numbers that are connected by that beam down below, that's how you know it's going to be a down up. And the sooner you sense that pattern, the sooner you get hip to that, the better. So in slow motion, the Lone Ranger theme, right, Charlie Beagle? You got it. The slow motion version, I'm going to give you 3 counts and then I'll play it. 1, 1, 2, 3. And then we have to go on to the next page. Does that make you crazy? It's making me so crazy. There we go. 7. Use your pinky, your left hand pinky on that 7. And I'm going to pause right there. What happens next is the same melody way down, 1 octave lower. And that makes it potentially more challenging. Okay. Let's talk about what I just did. This second half, starting on that 5th string 2-2, I suggest keeping your hand in first position, meaning all those 2s are going to be played with your number 2 finger, your middle finger. When you need a 1, your index finger will play the 1st fret. All those 4s are going to be pinkies. There are no 3s, so you just don't need your ring finger. Okay? So first position, anytime you orient your fretting hand where the index is hovering over the 1s and your middle finger is waiting for the 2s and so on, that's known as first position. Okay? This whole tab that you're looking at, these 2 pages, it's all available at my website. Okay, so those of you who are members of the website, it's there waiting for you. I can imagine myself tweaking this tab to not have it get interrupted exactly how it gets interrupted. But the whole goal is you print out the 2 pages and then you don't have to worry about scrolling or anything like that. Okay, questions, comments? Does it look kind of easy? I'm hoping it does look kind of easy. Scott Rhodes says, it sounds cool with some delay and reverb. Yeah. By the way, this is in the key of E because the original song is in the key of E. So we're doing it in the key of E. Lucky for us, that means the top half of the first page has a lot of open strings. Okay. Notice how the first half of the William Tell exercise, all 2s and 4s, right? So guess what? Second position. I would play all the 2s with my first finger, my index finger, all the 4s with my ring finger, because you don't want to sacrifice your smartest finger, your index finger, just on some principle that, the second fret should always be your second finger. No, 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 So yeah, I would play the first page in second position and the second page in first position. Is that confusing? Kind of, sort of. Okay, but that's what I'm suggesting. Okay, so something like this. You could use this as a slow, steady warm-up. You could use it to make sure you're comfortable with this whole down-up picking business. Ramp up your speed slowly and steadily. Listen to, hopefully, every version of this song is in this key. I know there's a big fanfare at the beginning of the overture. I did not reflect that in this. It's the bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 that whole very awesome fanfare. This part of the overture works best for my purposes. So nevertheless, it's the same key. So by listening to hopefully any version of the song, it'll just get the tune in your head for sure. Okay, so what do you guys think? Kind of a cute little thing, right? A cool way to let's scroll up here. A cool way to just make sure you're doing the downs and ups okay, that you're comfortable with fast notes being down ups and relatively slower notes being downstrokes. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. You got it. Okay, there you go. A lesson you'll never forget. Again, that PDF is already waiting for you at my website, song-bike.com. There you go. I'm going to wet my whistle. How about in a moment, we'll get to Bill R's question from last time. When I was time stamping the video last Sunday morning, I saw 2 of these questions in the chat, realized I had not seen them last Saturday night. Bill R. last week asked, should I use a strap on an acoustic guitar? Does it help? Yes. Yep. Is it mandatory? No. Is it worth experimenting with? 100%. Even if you play sitting down all the time, even if you play electric guitar sitting down, number one, it's a fashion accessory. We all could use a little something special, right? As I was waiting for my first guitar, the one that never arrived or didn't arrive right, I got this strap because I thought, well, I want to fill the void in my life as I waited for my guitar. And so I went ahead and got a strap that I was pretty confident would match the guitar. Strap worked out great. The guitar did not work out great. I ordered this guitar, and in my humble opinion, the strap still looks pretty good with this yellow guitar. So number 2 reason to use a strap is stability. Again, it's not that it's mandatory, it's that it's a relatively inexpensive way to possibly improve your comfort and improve your playing. There's no chance the guitar is going anywhere. And you might be, without knowing it, your fretting hand might be doing a lot of cradling, a lot of holding the guitar, when really it should be, playing the guitar. And a strap makes it possible that your left hand will feel more free. No reason to go crazy. You don't need to invest $100. I personally wouldn't get the cheapest strap out there. Get yourself a little something special. So many choices, many choices. I will say this: if you get a strap and you are inclined to walk around with a guitar strapped around you, that's exactly how you'll put a bunch of dings in your guitar. And if you don't mind a ding here or there because you think, oh, it's going to look cool, that's great. I get that. But the times that almost every single time I've put some sort of relicking, into my guitar, it's been when I'm standing up, walking around with it. I don't know. So yeah, if those of you are perfectly happy without a strap and life is good, don't worry about it. But yeah, it's worth it to get it to add that stability. And if it turns out that you're fine without a strap, then you've got it as a fashion accessory. You help support the strap industry. You could always pass it on to someone else who might need a strap. Some of you have acoustic guitars that do not have a strap button in this general vicinity up here. Many of you have strap buttons down there, the butt of the guitar, but not up by where the neck meets the body. You can have a strap button installed. I'm sure there's YouTube videos out there to show you how you can do it yourself. You can get a cool little attachment or just use a shoelace that goes through the end of the strap. And instead of attaching the guitar where there's no strap button, that would be impossible, you tie the shoelace or the cool device, Diodario makes one. I forget what it's called. I have one right over there. And the shoelace or the device, it goes under the strings just past the nut. That's a great idea, especially for those of you who do not like the idea of drilling into your guitar. Anyway, so there you go. Scott Rhodes says his current strap at this moment has a bunch of little green alien faces. Sure, why not? Why not? Charlie says that you can add the William Tell Overture in his Western medley with Ghost Riders in the Sky and Apache. I think that'd be an awesome medley. That'd be great. In preparing for tonight's live stream, I watched Glen Campbell do awesome versions of the same William Tell Overture. So in case you're curious, if I think of it, I'll put a link to him playing it live with an orchestra doing all the rest of the song behind him. Very cool. I'll make a note. Glen Campbell link. Okay. So there you go. Bill R., I hope you accept my apologies for missing your your question last time. Poopa John is asking a great question. Any hints how to train your ears? Number one, I got to tell you the number one thing is make a decision. You want to improve your ears. Right there, you're already off to a great start. Being a better and better musician has so much to do with hearing things that you might not have heard or you didn't know what you were hearing. So we've talked about ear training apps, and the one that I always meant to use was it called Perfect Ear? Perfect Ear on my Android phone. And hopefully it's available on non-Android phones, but there's a lot of them out there. So an ear training app for your phone, highly recommend it. It's a great idea. Sing along when you play. I mean, here's something you can do for free. The William Tell, I don't know why I can't say that. Overture, Mr. Tell's Overture. That could be an example. Any melody that's a relatively simple melody that you're capable of playing slowly, including a good old scale. I sing along with it, not to improve your singing, but it's engaging your ear when you sing along. La 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 la. It's not about how well you do, although you'll get better and better at it. It's just engaging more of it. Literally, you have to listen to the note extra hard and listen to your singing, and that's an easy thing you can do, especially with anything that you're playing on single strings. I'm not talking about singing like along with a G chord, although that's great too. Singing in general is a great way to improve your ear. So Poopa John, those are some of my thoughts right now, but you're already on the way because you're asking about it. And if I have some more ideas, I'll mention it. I'll throw them out there. But yeah, an app, and then singing whatever you're playing on the guitar. It could be some riff. Sing along with but go slowly. Good old Crazy Train right there. You might be able to play that super fast. For this scenario, you're going to want to slow it down and engage another part of your brain. Sing along. Those are some ideas right there. It's a great question, Poopa John. And if any of you all have things to add about ways to improve your ear, go ahead and put that in the chat as well. Have you voted? Don't forget to vote. The question is, if you were in a Beatles tribute band, which Beatle would you be? John, George. Oh, come on. Did I write Ringo twice? What the heck? Am I crazy? No, that's the old one. Okay, we're back to the new one now. Okay. John, George, Ringo, and Paul, who would you be? Which Beatle? And then if you're so inclined, let us know in the chat, like why that particular Beatle. Static Zigzag says, I couldn't decide. It's a tough question, right? It's a tough question. What are you going to do? Hey, let's show a little love to Brian Setzer. Brian Setzer, what a fantastic guitar player. I've seen him live once and certainly seen a lot of videos and interviews with him on YouTube. Around Valentine's Day, he let his followers on social media know that he had come down with an autoimmune disease that he described as not painful, but he said it made playing guitar feel like he had a glove on. And since then, he checked into the Mayo Clinic and was being treated at the Mayo Clinic. And about a month ago, he posted that he was feeling better. And about a week ago, he posted a shot of him playing guitar on the sofa. And I don't know any details beyond that, but so good to know that he's moving in the right direction. And it's scary when stuff happens, especially when it has no rhyme or reason, right? So, hey, Brian, wishing you well from all of us here at SongBike, and I hope you keep getting better and better and better. The Mayo Clinic, great name for a burger place. And in case those of you who are about to open a burger place and couldn't quite come up with a name, I vote for the Mayo Clinic. Get it? So, yeah. Brian Setzer. Get well soon, Brian. Okay, check, check, check. Hey, let's do one of our guitar play-alongs. Let's just do this thing. Get your guitar ready. Here we go. I'm going to download that. Excellent. The theme for tonight's play-along songs. Anyone remember that movie, Oh Brother? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Of course you do. For many years, people have asked me, many people, they ask me, they say, sir, you show us, there we go, don't, they say, would you show us, okay, we're still here, you didn't lose me. All right, we're still here. Thanks for your patience, everybody. And we're back, you didn't miss anything. I'm just getting us ready to play this song. All right. Here we go. All right, you still there? I sure hope so. Okay, here comes our first play-along song of the night. Let's start with this one right here. Easy peasy. Okay, you're still there? There you go, Charlie. I'm back. You guys didn't miss anything. I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, we are about to start our first play-along of 3 play-alongs. First of 3 of the night. And the theme of these 3 songs, remember that movie? The Coen brothers, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah, man. Okay, I get a lot of requests, and that movie gets a lot of love. So let's start this right now. Let's do this thing. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Okay. You guys might know this song. I hope you do. It's a good old one. This was featured in that movie, Oh Brother, and easy peasy. Okay, you guys see that okay? Hopefully your screen didn't go black. You see that okay? Okay, let me know in the chat if you guys can see that, those chords on the screen. Someone let me know. I see we got Debbie in the chat. Hey, Debbie, thanks for joining us. Everybody see it okay, Debbie? Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here's what you need to know. 3 chords, D, G, and A, very common chord family, right? Those little slash marks, those little black marks under each chord, each one of those stands for a boom chick. What's a boom chick? You hit the root note of the chord, a single string, could be the 4th string, could be the 5th string, could be the 6th string, depending on the chord. The chick part, that's the boom. The chick part is a light strum on 3 skinny strings. Could be 2, could be 4. Don't overthink it. So I'll play the song and teach it, slowly, and then we'll play it together a little bit faster. That first D with those 4 slash marks, I'm going to hit the 4th string, the D string, boom, and then chick. A total of 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Again on D. Twice, 3 times, 4 times. On the G chord, it's going to be the 6th string. Once, twice, 3, 4. Back to D. Get the idea? So each one of those little slash marks is a boom chick. Total of 8 boom chicks on the D, 4 on the G, 4 more on the D. Line 2, it's 8 on the D. Once, twice, 3 times, 4, once, twice, 3rd time, 4th time. Then you get to a quick little D-A section. It's 2 boom chicks on the D, once, twice. On the A, the boom is going to be on the 5th string, the A string, once, twice. And then that D, how come that D doesn't have those slash marks under it? It's supposed to, 4 times in that D as well. So in slow motion. I'm going to walk you through it, and then we'll do it for real. Okay. 1, 2, here we go. Some bright morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away. Okay. In second line, to that home on God's celestial shore, I'll fly away. Okay, that's it. Questions, comments? We're going to go a little bit faster. Darn it. I'm going to show you a little thing. I didn't write it on there. Oh, I can't wait to hear some of you guys play that. Okay, a great little riff, and I'm going to work it in once in a while. Check it out. It relates directly to the D chord, and it fits in so nicely when the lyric stops and there's some space. Okay, check it out. In this scenario, imagine I'm already on the D chord. I'm going to use just the third string, second fret, where my index finger already is. I'm going to pluck that note with a downstroke, and the same string open with an upstroke. 2, 0, down, up on the third string. Same thing on the fourth string, 2, 0, down, up. Same thing on the fifth string, 2, 0 with a down, up. And lastly, the open fourth string. So the riff in slow motion. Okay, it's all about your index finger. I'm sorry it's not on the screen. I intended to put that on the screen. Darn it. I'm on the tab. Darn it. I meant to. Okay, next time. In the future. Okay, so let's see. I'll fly away, 2, 3. Da, da. Oh, it fills in that last little bit at the end of the form, right before it repeats back and starts over again. Oh, it fills that in so nicely. One finger, down, up, picking, you're going to sound great. A nice little bluegrassy kind of. And by the way, that last open D string, that actually represents the boom of the start of the song. Some bright, da 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 da. So you see what I'm saying? If you do it right, it becomes seamless. Mike Jam says, "I love this song." Ah, good, me too. Okay, so let's do this. Remember, the goal here is to prepare you to play along with the actual song from the soundtrack, right? You guys ready? I'm ready if you're ready. Let's do it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some bright morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away when the shadows of this life have gone. I'll fly away like a bird from these prison walls. I'll fly. I'll fly away. I'll when I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Oh, how glad and happy when we meet, I'll fly away. No more cold iron shackles on my feet, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh Lord, I'll fly away in the morning when I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joys will never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away in the morning when I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Mike Jam was singing along. Excellent. A lot of room for harmonies in there. I intentionally sped up a little bit. I intentionally started doing a little more with the strumming. That was me. I didn't get carried away, you know. What do you think? Pretty straightforward. A lot of D chords, right? A lot of D chords. The second line, that's all D except that one little A. That was hard. It's hard to stay in the D that long. What song does that, you know? Not many. Staying on one chord for that long, I don't know. Easy peasy. Okay, don't go anywhere. More songs coming up from that same soundtrack. I'm just checking out what you guys are saying in the chat. Excellent. Rock Lobster says Reverend Songbike. Oh, there's a theme. There's a theme here. We got two more. Yeah, Randy says love the whole soundtrack, right? Yep. One of my in-person students requested a song. We worked on a song. Actually, she came to the lesson with a song already printed out, the lyrics and tab. And as usual, the lyrics and the chords. And as usual, we talked about the strum pattern because in general, that's what's missing when people post, you know, how to play a song, right? Without spending too much time, people post what's convenient. What's convenient is posting the lyrics and then dropping in the chord names, which is great. It's helped me out many, many times. But leaving out the strum pattern is a gaping hole, you know? Oh, well, so that's where I come in. That's what I like to do. I like to help people figure out strum patterns. Okay. You can rest your weary fingers for a minute. Let me see if I want to check off a few things. Who's coming through town besides the Beatles tribute band known as Ticket to Ride? You know who else is coming through town? John Oates of Hall & Oates. And in the description of this live stream, I'll post a cool video of John Oates performing live on acoustic guitar. He's got a sweet Martin, one of those dark all mahogany Martins, and with a band. And some of you might not know that John Oates is out there recording, touring, doing his thing, and he's going to be in my neighborhood coming up next. I think he's doing 2 shows next Friday and Saturday night. So check out the link that I'm going to post in the description of this live stream, and maybe he'll come through your neck of the woods. But that's who's coming through town. Some local bands, the Big Fat Combo and the Manchurians, which I believe are both local Connecticut bands. They're coming through playing at the theater across the street as well. And that's who's in town. Dumb question. I got a dumb question of the week. I ask a dumb question almost every live stream. I ask it so you don't have to. Here's the dumb question of the week. During a song, are you allowed to stop playing? Are there moments when you can get away with that? Not talking about the drum solo. Once the song starts, it's a dumb question, right? Of course you can't stop playing. You got to keep on going. Well, that's a good attitude. It's a good attitude to be, focused for the entire duration of the song. But are there some times when you can stop playing for a minute? It's a dumb question. But, well, it depends. It depends. If you are the band, maybe you're singing or you're accompanying the singer. If you're the band, if it's just you, no, you pretty much have to stay focused and creating sound constantly, right? But what if it's a jam session? Everybody's sitting in a circle, banging out songs. Well, of course you can take a break, right? Whether it's because you're getting some sort of ache or pain, or you got to check your notes on how to play F sharp minor. You dropped your pick. Yeah, you can stop playing for a minute. They're going to continue without you, right? What if it's an actual band situation? Is there a time for you to stop playing? Well, yeah, I can see that. I can see and maybe you drop your pick, you got to go grab another one, then you're back into it. Maybe the drummer's going to do a big fill, and maybe you're supposed to stop playing. Right? Debbie says, my stops are more of a pause, adjusting to the music. Now, Debbie, you're talking about adjusting to like if you're playing along with the recording and you need to listen, make sure you're still on track. Or are you talking about you're learning a song, and you need to stop just to figure out what comes next? So can you stop while you're playing? It's extremely possible. Especially, and here's the game changer. If you're playing with a bunch of musicians, right? The burden is not on your shoulders to drive the car the whole time, right? The car is going, man. The drummer's driving the car. I hate to tell you, but the drummer is kind of in charge, Nothing happens unless the drummer says it's going to happen, So it's a dumb question. Of course, you can't just stop playing. And yet, you'd be surprised. There's moments where you're either supposed to stop, but more specifically, you can let a chord ring, turn the page. Maybe you're using some printed paper, or, all you cool people with iPads, you've got everything stored on your iPad, and one of my students taps the screen and it turns to the next page on his tablet. So yes, you stop playing for a minute. Hey, piano players do it all the time. Piano players who are using sheet music, or even who are tapping a screen, you got to free up one of your hands to tap, so the other hand keeps going while you tap, or while you turn the page. Piano players have to deal with that. Really, every instrument that uses printed music has to deal with page turns, right? So, potentially they have to stop playing, and just that can be a thing, There you go. That's the dumb question of the week. I ask it so you don't have to. Okay. Hey, William is asking a great question. Can you talk a little bit about semi-hollow body and resonator guitars? Yeah, I love them. We're talking about when we talk about semi-hollow body guitar, we're talking about an electric guitar. And resonators, typically by definition, are not electrified in any way. Although I'm sure you can find a way to install a micro pickup, but that's not the point of a resonator guitar. So let's start with resonator guitars first. Long time ago, long before you were even born, probably, guitar manufacturers were making acoustic guitars, and the electric guitar had not been invented yet. And yet the guitar was being asked to compete essentially with large ensembles, with trumpets and saxes and drums. How's a guitar going to compete with that? And the resonator guitar was developed. Those cool guitars, that big shiny circle right there, Some of you are very aware of that Dire Straits album, Brothers in Arms. There's a big shiny silver resonator guitar on the cover of that album. It was a design in hopes that the guitar would be loud enough to be heard on stage with all those other instruments, you know, including especially loud brass instruments, horns, saxes. I'm not sure how successful it was, because soon after, the electric guitar as we know it basically was invented, with corresponding amplifiers, and that solved the problem, or at least went a lot further towards solving the problem than a resonator guitar did. Resonator guitars didn't go anywhere because they sounded so cool. The metal resonator setup, which isn't just that silver plate, there's a system inside that a lot of design went into, has such a great metallic sound. I have one back behind me there that's all metal. At least the body is all metal, not just the resonator, but the body. It's almost too loud and clanky. It doesn't do subtle. It's like a dog that only can bark at one volume. It's a very cool sound. If I could have a do-over, I might have rather got a wooden body resonator guitar that I'm guessing is a little sweeter sounding, has a little more room for subtlety. Mike Jam says, resonators were an amazing invention back in the day. I mean, it's the most often, you're most likely to see a resonator guitar played with a slide, because that metal of the slide and the metal of the resonator is just a great twangy combination. Potentially you'll see it face up, played by bluegrass dobro players, where they're going on top of the strings. Jerry Douglas, the famous dobro player, Jerry Douglas, is a good example of someone playing that way. If you ever see any guy playing what looks like an acoustic guitar, but he's playing it face up with his hands up here, yeah, it's almost certainly a dobro. Sometimes they even have square necks. If you're not going to wrap your hand around the neck, then why not just make it square for stability, you know, and strength? So there's such a thing as a square neck dobro that you definitely cannot play like that. Okay, so William, to get to your point, there's a little bit of the history behind it. The volume is louder, but it's also its own unique volume. It's not just like an acoustic guitar, but louder. It's its own special twang. I'm very glad that I have one. Someday I look forward to like playing beautiful music that is meant to be played. In my mind, that would be slide guitar. But I've been known to flip it face up and play like a bluegrass dobro as well. Now, semi-hollow body guitars are, that term refers to electric guitars where something has been chambered out. Some of the wood has been taken away in some capacity. So the most common phrase I hear, people call them B.B. King guitars. You know, a big electric guitar with those two F holes like a violin has, right? And those potentially could be simply like chambers that were chambered out of the wood. The guitar itself is not like hollow on the inside. They just have those chambers. Or the guitar can be virtually hollow, where the wood on the, imagine the guitar was hollowed out completely without a top on it, and then they laid a top and glued a top down on the guitar, and then they cut the F holes. But there's a lot of hollowness, a lot of space, a lot of cubic space that's empty inside. Many of those guitars do have some sort of neck block running down the center for stability, and that's some of what I know about semi-hollow body guitars. Interestingly, they don't necessarily sound profoundly different once you plug them into an amplifier and crank them up. You'd think that they would, right? That, you know, the guitar's hollow. It's an electric guitar that's hollow. It'd sound crazy, right? But electric guitars, my understanding is so much of the personality of any electric guitar has to do with the pickups, that the fact that an electric guitar might be semi-hollow in some way, that alone doesn't guarantee it's going to sound totally different than a solid body guitar. And probably somewhere on YouTube is someone doing a taste test and showing you that. Then again, there's people who love those guitars, and I'm sure they would tell you there's definitely a sound difference, and I'm not going to argue that. I just, in general, I've heard that people with more experience than I do say that they don't necessarily sound profoundly different. They sure look great, you know. So, Bill, I hope that answers your questions. John is saying, I'm thinking about buying a Stratocaster. What model do you recommend? You know, whatever's in your budget. You can't go wrong with a Fender or Squier Stratocaster. I'm sure I'm not up to date on all the things out there. I'm always going to direct you guys to Sweetwater and see what they have in stock. At a minimum, Sweetwater is going to have whatever the newest Fender lineup is. But because it's such a huge price range from the Squier line, which typically are made overseas, to the Fender product, which are made in the US, but check the fine print, because I don't know if everything that has the Fender name is necessarily made in the US, right? Not that it even matters, but because there's a huge price range in Stratocasters and Telecasters and a lot of Fender models, you can't go wrong setting a price limit. That's going to help narrow things down. Obviously, if price was no object, then how would you choose, right? Will you get the super most expensive custom shop Strat just because you can afford it? Hey, whatever makes you happy, you know. But Scott, would you recommend your American Professional 2 Strat? I bet you would. That's what you're playing today. Hey, there's a variety of things to consider when you buy any guitar. And you guys, I'm a big fan of the color. You got to like the color, you know. When I ordered this guitar, it was important for me to have a rosewood fingerboard as opposed to a maple fingerboard. I like the dark look, but also I play so much acoustic guitar that in a lot of ways I want this to be as much like an acoustic guitar as it could. It has a big fat neck. For those of you who can't see, I'm talking about my LSL T-Bone guitar. It's a Telecaster style guitar made by LSL Instruments out of California. I love it. I recommend them. So there's a lot of aesthetic stuff to think about as well. But nothing wrong with choosing something because it's so beautiful, whether it's a certain, you know, sunburst, or maybe you just want like a beautiful glossy black. Maybe you want something that's a relict. Who knows, you know? Randy says, I bought a Squier Telecaster from Sweetwater and it's great, $250. Yeah. Scott has a less expensive one, Strat made in Mexico as well. Recommend that too. Yeah, we're really spoiled. The instruments available to us at any price point are so much better than a few generations ago. And there's no lack of guitar techs out there who will make any adjustments, you know, that are needed. No lack of retailers that will, you know, like Sweetwater, you try it out. If there's something that's not right about it, you send it back, right? That's just the world we live in. Bruce has a Strat, a pale blue Strat. Nice. So, you know, you're going to be looking at it a lot, and you really want to like the way it looks. And you want to love the way the neck feels too. Although I know if you've been playing acoustic guitar and you've barely had any experience with electric guitar, how do you know what feels good and doesn't feel good? I'll say this, trust your instinct. You know, that's why it's nice to try it out first. Scott says, my son gigs all the time with his Squier. He loves it. And he's done some modifications to it. Yeah. Yep. So John, I know I'm not recommending a specific model. Partly that's because I'm just not up to date on everything they offer. But part of it is because budget is, to me, that's a huge factor. That will rule out a bunch of things. And then there's the aesthetics, and that only you know what you like in those terms. I'm guessing that the more you spend, the more options you have in terms of color and things like that, you know. Okay. Hey, you guys, I don't want to run out of time. Let's do another lesson you'll never forget. This actually, Rick G, I don't know if you're there, but if you're there, Rick G, this one's for you, man. Hold on a second here. I'm going to close down that one. Rick G asked a question last week that I did not see, but I wanted to address it this week. So grab your guitars, everybody, and take a look at the screen. If your screen goes black for a minute, don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, Rick G asked the question, and I made up this lesson plan here in light of his question. Rick G last week says, when do you use the A major pentatonic and when do you use the A minor pentatonic? Which is such a great question. Okay, so hopefully you guys can all see that on the screen. Top half is devoted to the A major pentatonic, bottom half the A minor pentatonic. Okay, so everybody see it okay? Let me know. I'm going to wet my whistle here. Okay, let's start with the A major pentatonic. By the way, the letter A means the key of A, not the, what's it called, an article, like the or an, right? The key of A, the A major pentatonic. Okay, first of all, pentatonic, 5 tones. What are the 5 tones? Not surprisingly, A is one of the 5 tones. A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. Those are the 5 tones that make up the A major pentatonic. They're also the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Those 5 notes from an A major scale. We all know major scales, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If you only played the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth, you would have an A major pentatonic scale. There's a pick. So here comes the sound of an A major. An A major pentatonic scale. I just played a few notes of it there. At some point, the world decided it loved the sound of a pentatonic scale. And the pentatonic scale is found in a lot of cultures all over the world. It's absolutely the #1 scale for soloing over popular music in our culture. Some people just call it the rock scale. So the A major pentatonic, you can see I wrote out 2 different ways. Let's talk about the tab. The tab at the in the top half, that 2 5 2 4 2 4. There's the one way of playing the A major pentatonic. 2 5 2 4 2 4. I'm going to play it backwards. 5 2 5 2. Ooh, talking about ear training, Pooba John, to sing those notes as you play it slowly. La 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 la. It's a great idea for ear training. It's great. You know, I highly recommend that. So #1, practice that scale. Pointer pinky on the 2 5s and pointer ring on the 2 4s. Down up picking with your picking hand. The diagram on the left, nice little fretboard map. Here's something that's super significant. Along the side of that diagram on the left-hand side, along the right-hand side, see that 2, 3, 4, 5? Those numbers are extremely important. That's telling you that those are the 4 frets represented in that diagram: the 2nd fret, the 3rd fret, the 4th fret, and the 5th fret. Okay. All I can tell you is those are super significant. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. If the tab works best for you, use that to get this in your brain. If that diagram of those black dots, if that works well for you, you take a picture of that in your mind and just memorize that image, great. That particular form there, I call it the headquarters pattern. I circled the A's. You have an A, 5 on the 6th string E, 5 on the 1st string E. Those are the A's. And I also circled the 3rd skinny string 2nd fret A. So you got a bunch of different A's. It's always good to know where the root notes are of any scale you ever play. Okay, so there's an A major pentatonic. When might you use an A major pentatonic for playing a solo? There's in that box is a sample chord progression that would be a great opportunity to use a major pentatonic scale. An A chord for 4 strums and a D chord for 4 strums. Back to A and then to E. So what I would recommend, and let me see if I can get it going on right now. Bear with me, you guys. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Okay, got a little loop going. Hear that little loop? There's the loop with my little ditto looper. Pretty cool looper. It's doing that chord progression. A for 4 counts, then D. You guys hear that okay? For 4 counts, then for A for 4 counts, and then the E. I'm going to take a second and improvise with that major pentatonic scale. Okay, got the idea? If you are not in a position, hold on. If you are not in position to go out and buy a looper, don't worry. Just record yourself on your phone, okay? My only advice, though, is take it slowly, and record yourself for a solid minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, because as you begin soloing on top of it, you're not going to want it to end. So if you have to restart the recording on your phone every 60 seconds, it'd be a bummer. Plus, it's just good for your focus to strum that chord sequence for 2 solid minutes, 3 minutes. That's good. You want to push yourself to do that. Okay, we'll get to the A minor pentatonic in a second. There you go. There's a context when you could use an A major pentatonic scale, the A major pentatonic scale written out a couple of different ways, and then of course the definition of the A major pentatonic scale. It's the notes A, B, C sharp, E, and F sharp, also known as the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth notes from an A major scale. Why are we omitting the fourth and seventh notes of an A major scale? They're considered weak notes. In any major scale, the fourth and the seventh notes are considered weak or wobbly. I want you to imagine a domino that's already halfway falling down. You don't want to build a house on that type of wobbliness, right? Something about omitting the fourth and seventh notes from a major scale and playing all sorts of melodies and stuff with the remaining 5 notes. Our ear just really likes that. We really love the strength that we hear in melodies and solos built on the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth notes of a major scale. Okay, ready? Second half, A minor pentatonic. The definition of an A minor pentatonic, well, the 5 notes are A, C, D, E, and G. The mathematical definition, so to speak, of an A minor pentatonic, you take a major scale, but you only play the first note of the major scale, the flatted third, the fourth, the fifth, and the flatted seventh. I'll say that again. The first, the flat 3, the 4, the 5, and the flat 7. If that doesn't make any sense to you, don't worry, because as you can see, it's all written out right there. But for those of you who are curious, that's the musical formula, the mathematical formula of what a minor pentatonic is. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. Okay, so the A minor pentatonic, it's the same thing 3 frets higher. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. It's just a very cool phenomenon that they feel the same to your fingers, except this one's based up at the 5th fret. Right? No big deal. But it's the same finger pattern. That's why those 2 diagrams on the left side of the page look so similar. In fact, the only differences are the bottom diagram, it says 5, 6, 7, 8 to indicate those 4 frets. And the circles, I circled different notes, kind of, but actually 2 of them are the same, right? The 5th fret on the skinny E, the 5th fret on the fat E. Those are still A's, but also the 7th fret on the 4th string. That's also an A right there. For the moment, that's all I want to say about root notes. In general, you always want to know where the root note of the scale are. In this case, we have 3 root notes, 3 A's in either one of these. Okay, so let me see if I can do this. Bear with me. Okay, that takes care. I just erased the previous loop. I'm going to make a loop of me playing those bottom chords. A minor 4 times, C 4 strums, D minor 4 strums, G 4 strums. I just made that up. It's just a cool little minor kind of chord progression. Notice it has major chords in it. That doesn't mean it's not in general a minor chord kind of sound, a minor key kind of sound. Okay, so here it comes. I'm going to loop that, and then I'll play on top of it. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's the loop, D minor, and now I'm going to solo using the A minor pentatonic. Okay, and then there we go. All right, so there you go. There you go. Questions, comments? Hey, RB, thanks for joining us. Mike Jim says, thumbs up for such great help. You are very, very welcome. Let me know if you guys, how that looks. I love, like what you look at the screen, that's my idea of a fun thing to do on a Saturday. I wrote that out before today's live stream. That's the kind of thing I'm going to keep a master copy of, and I'm going to use that as a little teaching lesson plan, just a bang, you know, for whenever it's appropriate with any given student. I'll say, hey, let's do this thing. For some people, that might be their introduction to playing lead guitar. For other people, it might be a music theory exercise. Oh, but I love writing stuff up like that. Ah, so fun. Partly for the fun of what it makes me do with my brain, but partly because for me that's like a carpenter going to the hardware store and getting a new tool. Say, oh man, I got a new tool. It looks great. I can't wait to use it. I'm going to look for opportunities to use that great tool. You know, a chef getting some great kitchen utensil. When the chat goes quiet, my hope, and at this point, my assumption is that you guys are playing. I love it so much. Never thought I'd say like, oh, I like it when the chat goes quiet, but yeah. Okay, so same deal. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to show you this looper. Hold on. Okay. In the description of this video is a link to this. It should still be okay. It's the link should still be okay. It's the Ditto looper, DITTO, from TC Electronic. I got a refurbished one or a used one or whatever. I think it was like $100, a little bit less than $100. My only complaint is it doesn't run on a battery, so you always have to plug it in, which is fine. But it's now I have a little power supply. Thanks to Music Fan, got me a present of a power supply, so I don't have to worry about batteries. But those of you who just have effects with batteries, it's kind of a pain that this one you have to plug it into the wall. If you choose to purchase this, make sure you get the power supply that goes with it. I don't think it's included. You have to ask for it. Anyway, Sweetwater has these, the Ditto looper. If you're so inclined, let me see if this still works. I'll put the link, looper link. Okay. Now there's lots of loopers out there. All I'm saying is this is what you just heard, and it works for me. Paste. Okay. The link that I just put in the chat is also in the description. It's already in the description of this live stream. Randy, thank you for your songbooks. When you make a donation to the cause here, you are contributing songbooks. Okay, let me just plug this back in. Another thing that's kind of quirky about that particular looper is you plug it in on the side as opposed to on the top. I don't know why they did that. I'm sure there's some electrical engineering issue, but I like it when they all plug in on the top. Almost all my effects do that, but I don't know why it's not consistent. I'm sure there's some reason. Hey, Rock Lobster, thank you so much for your super chat. Hey, you guys, there's lots of ways you can support this live stream. One of which is just being here. Thank you for being here. That's supportive. Thanks for being here. You can tell a friend. Tell somebody. We have pretty consistent numbers in terms of how many people watch live and how many people watch during the week. I'm very appreciative of that. Love to get those numbers up. So yeah, just tell a friend. Anybody who you know who plays the guitar, anybody you think might enjoy what we do here, yeah, let them know. You can give a thumbs up to this live stream, or if you're watching this after the fact, you can give a thumbs up. Anytime you're watching this. You can head over to song-bike.com and get yourself some teaching material, a lesson book, guitar instructional book. You can become a member of the website for $10 and access all these PDFs. So much stuff is there, plus a lot of videos. Anyways, lots of ways you can support what we're doing. You can also just buy something from Sweetwater using the affiliate link, and that link is always in the description of the video, but I'll put it in the chat right now. Sweetwater, when you click on this, Sweetwater knows that I sent you their way. Hey, should I sell out? I will tell you if I should sell out. Let me close this down. Okay, there we go. Should I sell out? Well, here's where we stand with me selling out. I'm going to put this right here. Paste. Okay. So I just put the general Sweetwater affiliate link in the chat. Toblerone chocolate. They're knocking on my door again. They think you guys want to hear me talk about chocolate. So I mean, I don't know. I can only hold out for so long, but it could be that at some point I'll just have to give in to the big chocolate industry, and SongBike guitar live stream will be sponsored by Toblerone. I don't have plans to do that, but I have to admit I appreciate their doubling down on their efforts to get me to work with them. I don't take it personally at all. It's just part of their marketing algorithm, but it is still kind of hilarious. Never say never. More relevant is Sennheiser. You might remember last week, I think it was last week, I mentioned that Sennheiser reached out to me. Again, kind of a marketing algorithm kind of thing. It wasn't like the CEO didn't call me on the phone. And they want to know if I would want to work with them. And I said, sure. And you guys might remember, I have a couple of Sennheiser headphones around here. I think I meant to check this mic. Is this a Sen? Oh, I have a couple of Sennheiser mics and headphones. And they're located 10 or 12 miles away right here in Connecticut. I believe that's their US headquarters. So I thought it'd be kind of a cool fit. So I'm in talks with Sennheiser, and we'll see. I haven't heard from them for a few days. I don't know if they close down for Easter and Passover and just disappear for a little while, but so we'll see. Of all the offers I've got, an audio equipment company that's located 10 miles away, and I'm already using their products, I would feel pretty comfortable saying, hey, you guys, this live stream is sponsored in part by Sennheiser. Could you guys deal with that? As long as they keep it low key, maybe wear a Sennheiser t-shirt once in a while. I don't know. But they went dark on me. So I emailed them, we're talking back and forth. And I'm still not convinced I'm talking to an actual person. The emails back and forth sound a little generic. I think they're trying to figure out, I don't know what they're trying to do. But anyways, that's where that stands. So Mike Jam says, love made in America merchandise. I don't know that everything they make is made in America. I'll find out, I guess, but that'd be kind of cool. But their corporate headquarters is across the river from where I am. Also, I've known people who work for them in their like if you were to return an item that was somehow not right, and they would choose like either fix it or replace it. I've known people who have worked in that department. So they're doing some hands-on stuff over there. I don't know. I want to find out more. Okay, there you go. That's the update. Hey, you guys, let's do another play-along song. Let's do it. Our next play-along song from the same movie. This will get me demonetized for sure. Even though these songs are somehow this will get me demonetized. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Okay, the next, you got your guitar, right? You do not need a capo, but you do need a B7 chord. Get your B7 chord ready. Okay, here it comes. The next song from the Oh Brother soundtrack. This is like the first one. This is a song that I actually know from a long time ago. And I knew this song as Down to the Valley to Pray, I think, or Down in the Valley to Pray. Some of you might remember this scene in the movie George Clooney, John Leguizamo. No, who am I thinking of? We just saw him in Severance. Sweetie, help me out. The guy in Severance. Tim Blake Nelson, George Clooney, and such a good actor. There's a scene there, they're by the river, and these singers in these beautiful white gowns are all steadily singing and walking towards the river, and Tim Blake Nelson is just like overcome by the whole thing. Who's the actor that I'm thinking of? The other star of the movie. Nope, not him. John Turturro. There you go. Anyways, so Down to the River to Pray. Love this song. I've always loved this song. Let's get it in your head a little bit. I'm going to unplug some stuff here. Oh, there we go. We need this, but we don't need this. That's good. And let's see, this. Bear with me, you guys. We get some juice going here. And that, and that, and this. While I'm getting ready, make sure you know your B7 chord. If you're not sure what a B7 is, Google it. Google it right now. You're going to need it a lot. I also want you to keep in mind that the B7 chord and the E major chord both have the middle finger in the same place if you do it right. 5th string, 2nd fret. Hey, Art and Shelley joining us from Montana. Thanks for joining us for the first time, Art and Shelley. Nice to have you. We're about to do a play along, so get ready. Okay, where's my volume? Where's the volume, man? It's around here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to take this out of the mix. That's good, that's good, that's good. Don't need that. That's good. Okay. There we go. Okay. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. I know at the bottom of the screen, it's getting cut off just a tiny bit. We're still looking at the boom chick business here. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go. That's better. So I'm going to walk you through this for a minute or two, and then let's play it. Greg says, great content. Thanks, Greg. Grab your guitar, man. We're going to sing along. Again, a lot of room for harmonies on this, so don't be shy, man. Don't be shy. So for the fun of it, I'm going to do the boom chick in a very controlled way. First of all, for the moment, I'm not going to use a pick at all. What am I doing? My thumb is playing the root note. In this case, it's the 6th string. I'm on the E chord, by the way. Thumb is hitting the 6th string by itself. My ring, middle, and index fingers are planted on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th skinny strings. This is really rudimentary finger picking, but you know what? It's going to work just fine for this song. Oh, this song is a cappella in the movie, so we can strum the guitar however we want. In fact, even the exact chords, what you're looking at is my harmonic sense. I think these chords in this order fit the song just fine. It's definitely possible you'll see a variation on this if you were so inclined. You might see someone posted the chords specifically to this version from this movie, and it might be a little bit different than what I wrote. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, because the chords are pretty straightforward, E, A, and B7, I want to spend a minute or two talking about the picking, and then we'll get on with the play along. And again, the last thing I want to say about the left hand is, well, two things. When you're changing from E to B7, keep that middle finger planted down. You're going to pivot on that middle finger, okay? That note is in both of the chords. It's the note B. So anytime you're going from E to B7, keep that finger in place. Secondly, the way I'm going to do the picking, you actually don't need your pinky finger to be on this skinny string during the B7 chord. It's supposed to be there, and I encourage you to put it there. But the way I'm going to be plucking it, I'm not going to be plucking the skinny string at all with any of the chords, because you can get away with that with bare fingers. I'm not trying to avoid playing the full B7. I'm not telling you not to play the full B7. But for the record, when you use bare fingers and you're reaching in and getting very specific notes, sometimes you don't have to play the whole chord. That's all. I'm not saying you're, every once in a while someone gets mad, like they're trying to get people to cheat or not do not show up and do the work. I don't know, man. Okay, so I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way. That creates a nice, steady, rhythmic pattern. Okay, so let's talk about what is changing depending on the chord and what is not changing. The thumb. On the B7 or A chords, the thumb is shifting over to the fifth string. That's the fifth skinniest, right? Biggest number, biggest string. When I say sixth string, that means the fat string. When I say the first string, that means the skinny. Littlest number, littlest string. Okay, so A chord, thumb on the A string, right? The fifth string. B7 chord, thumb also on that string, right? Here's what's not changing. The way I'm playing it at the moment, ring finger is glued practically to the second skinny string. Middle finger, third skinny string. Index, fourth skinny string. I'm doing an E chord. Now, that's going to stay consistent regardless of which chord I'm playing. It's going to sound like this on the E. It's going to sound like this on the A. It's going to sound like this on the B7. Okay? This is one way to do it. I thought we'd do it this way for a variety. And some of you are finger pickers anyway, so this is right down your alley. Okay, so before we start the tune, quick reminder, every one of those little slash marks you see represents a boom chick. So under that first capital E, that means grab an E chord and do two boom chicks. Boom chick, boom chick. The second thing is also an E chord. Boom chick, boom chick. B7, boom chick again. So the first line all the way across would sound like E. E again. B7. B7 again. Okay? Where it gets slightly tricky is in line 2, when there's halfway through line 2, there's a boom chick on B7, and then right away a boom chick on A. Line 3, it's a similar thing. It's a boom chick on an A. This is at the end of line 3, A to E. So yeah, you got to have your wits about you. We're going to take it slowly. It's a slow tune. But at those moments, you have to be ready for them, right? You have to be ready for it. And again, this is how I decided to harmonize a tune. Without a doubt, it's in the key of E. But with it, especially since the tune is sung a cappella, there is a little wiggle room. And the last thing I'll say, the reason why I'm making a big deal about this, let's take the note B, let's say the open second string B string, right? The note, let's say the singers are singing that B. Well, that open B string is found in both an E major chord and a B7 chord. So either one of those chords would support the singing at that moment. So then you got to choose, especially if the song is a cappella. Anyways, see what I'm getting at? Okay. All right, let's do it. The song just goes back and forth. you know, it just repeats. What you're looking at there just repeats over and over again. So what you're looking at in the screen, we're probably going to play that maybe 4 times through. Does that make sense? Okay, you ready? Let's do it. I'll see you on the other side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. As I went down the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, Father, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sinners, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down to the river to pray. What do you think? Pretty straightforward, right? All right, we got 2. I bet we have time for 1 more. The third one is going to be a blast. The third one is going to be a little bit different. You will need a capo for the third tune. We've never done 3 play-along tunes here in the live stream before. By the way, last thing I'm going to say about playing this tune, you could do it all with a pick, and it would sound great. It would just be boom chick with a pick, like. You know, the same timing, the same everything. And I recommend doing it with a pick. But for those of you who do not play with a pick, or for those of you who want to just try finger picking, that's a great, simple way to get your hand used to finger picking. Okay. Mike Jam is quoting some of the lyrics, some of the dialogue from Oh Brother. Okay, so let's take a breath. I'm going to see what you guys are talking about. RB says, Jonathan, the Discord link is no longer valid. Make it a permanent link, not just a weekly one. Yeah, RB, I'm with you. I swear, every time I make a Discord link, I click on the box or whatever that says make it permanent. I'm glad to do it again. Thank you for the feedback. And I'm going to make a note because clearly I'm doing something wrong, man. Okay, Discord. We do have a Discord up and running, you guys, and I'll take care of that link. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, and it's time to watch it again. I'm enjoying listening to the soundtrack, though. Okay, so we will do 1 more song from the movie in a minute or 2. Okay, let's see what we haven't done. I'm going to teach you a lesson you never forget. A lot of playing this week, right? I'm going to show you a thing about soloing in the key of G, specifically target notes. I know we did the A pentatonic thing a minute ago. This is similar, but last week I pledged to you guys that we would do this thing I'm talking about this week, and I'm going to live up to that. What else? I just want to see if there's anything I'm forgetting on my end, and I'm going to scroll through the links. Oh, real quick, I did get my stand light from Sweetwater, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. Ooh, spooky. Look at that. Spooky. Okay, so see that? What I chose to get, because it served my purposes, and this might be good for you guys too. I like it so far. It's from Sweetwater. 2 different lights on goosenecks, so they're movable. You can adjust them however. This is a mighty clip. I got to say, I was not expecting this clip to be like as strong. I mean, you could, that clip, once you clip it on a stand, it's going nowhere. The lights can shine white like that, but they can also shine red. And because sometimes musicians are in a situation where they don't want the glare of their lights to be visible, to be to interfere with whatever lighting is going on, like say in a pit orchestra or something. So I was not expecting the red option, but there you go. So this is about 35, 36 bucks. Rechargeable. It was important for me to get one that's rechargeable. I just don't want to deal with batteries. You know, I want to charge it and just use it. So at the moment, I feel comfortable. I mean, not at the moment. I do feel comfortable. I'm recommending this to you guys, and that is mentioned in the description. Hold on, I'm going to put a link to it. Now, it's a lot of money for a light. You guys could, you know, go to a thrift store and just buy a good lamp and aim it at your music stand, and that might do the job just fine. But hey, if I use something and I feel okay about it, then I feel like recommending it. My eyes are not great, and some of you out there might struggle with paste. Okay, there we go. Some of you might struggle with seeing music, and that's a shame because guitar is hard enough without having to squint at the music, right? So I teach a big variety of students, and I think many of them are going to be grateful that I can shine new stuff. Oh, I'm moving to a new location. My music shop is moving about a mile down the road, and the lighting is fine, but I feel extra secure with that music stand light until I teach some lessons in this space. I won't know exactly how the lighting is, right? You don't know till you get someplace and start doing it. So that's one reason I made the investment now as opposed to say a year ago. So I should have got him a long time ago. Weeks and weeks ago, we were talking about what makes a good guitar teacher. And I said, among the many things I said, if you walk into their studio and they have like extra lighting on the music stand, that's a pretty responsible person right there. I think that's a sign that, you know, they care. It's a sign they care. Okay. I'm going to check off a few things here. Did that. A while back, I asked you a kind of a trivia question. Why there's a time in popular culture when musicians on the radio, live musicians performing on the radio, were preferred over playing records. And I said, does anybody know why that was the case? Now, this goes back quite a few years, but there was a time when radio stations would really much rather have the musicians right there in the studio than to play the record. And I realized I never told you guys the reason for that. The reason was way back when records didn't sound very good. Live musicians in the radio station sounded a million times better, right? They're right there, like playing, you know, it sounded like real music. And records, I mean, we're talking about going way back, right? Records from the 20s, 30s, 40s didn't sound that great, you know? So radio stations would much rather have live music. Isn't that cool? As you know, times have changed. But I realized I'd never got back to that subject. Another thing I meant to get to that I forgot to mention, I'll keep this quick. A lot of guitar teachers, YouTubers use the word tricks. I made a video called the DCG trick. That is my #1 video. And some people are like, it's not a trick, man. And they got very offended that I use the word trick, or they're very upset. And I love that word, because for those of you who don't believe in magic, like you realize that the magician has a rabbit up their sleeve, like there's a trick to it, when they pull that quarter from behind your ear. For those of you who believe that the magician just worked really hard to learn that trick, and then they've got it, and they can pull the quarter from behind everybody's ear forever. If you believe, and we're back. And we're back. I don't know, little glitch in the system. We're back. I didn't go anywhere. So if you believe that the magician just worked hard on their trick and now they've got it, then you know what I'm talking about when I say a guitar trick, a music trick, right? It's a thing that you practice until you could get it, and then you've got it forever. And the more tricks you know, the quote better you are as a guitar player. I think it's a super useful term, and I've continued to use it. So I encourage you to think of it, to include that in the language that you use as you make progress on your instrument of choice. You could say that finger picking we just did, that's a trick. Not a very hard trick, right? Short, sweet, add it to your skill set. And I wish you many, many, many years of learning cute little tricks. What you do with it is up to you. Obviously, the goal is to make beautiful music, to play our favorite music, to write your own music. But the more tricks you know, the better. Charlie Beagle is saying, how about a Toblerone-shaped guitar? You know? Yeah, Scott Rhodes was looking through the PDFs on my website. Yep. Scott, did you refer to a PDF that? Did I miss that? Were you making a request? Yeah. By the way, Scott, I saw you made a good point that semi-hollow guitars, you don't have to plug them in to hear a nice little sound. They're meant to be plugged in, but hey, you know what? It's almost an acoustic guitar. You know, my first guitar was a semi-hollow guitar, which I still have it, and it makes me so happy. And yeah, I had enough money to buy the guitar, but not enough money to buy an amp. I was playing with friends in a band, and they would just leave their equipment over at my house down in my basement. So, I had a guitar amp, I just didn't own it. But yeah, my house, I was a drummer in the high school band, and so the PA and some random guitar gear was, at my house, man, with my drums. Yep. Beautiful thing. So tricks, I don't know. I just wanted to address that term, guitar tricks. I love that term. And to me, that's the definition. Something that is probably short, sweet, not particularly, it doesn't even necessarily have to be anything particularly sophisticated, but it's something that has a lot of value, and you're going to find lots of uses for it. And sometimes it only takes you a moment to learn it. Sometimes you learn it fast, or it might take you weeks and weeks to get good at it. Sometimes it's not, the better you get, or here's a sign that you're getting better and better, is you absorb new tricks faster. I wish that for all of you. Okay, there you go. Hey, let's talk about that thing with target notes in the key of G. So this is, again, a follow-up to last. There we go. That looks pretty good. A follow-up to last week. Here we go. That and this. And I might get the looper going again for this. Okay. If your screen goes black, do not fear, but do let me know if that, if you do not see that on the screen, or let me know if you do see it. Either way. Oh, Scott, I'm reading your comment. Oh, interesting. Scott is saying there's a Facebook page that posts chord progressions ordered by mood rather than the usual key. Pretty useful where the images are hard to save or print. Great idea. Scott, do they describe the mood? Like here's like a chill jazzy chord progression, or here's an aggressive whatever. Do you happen to remember how they describe the chord progression? I'm curious about the adjectives that they use. That's a great idea. Yeah, yeah, great idea. My version of that. Bear with me. Those of you folks who have this book. Okay, those of you who might own a copy of my ebook entitled The Guitar Year One, on this page is the 16 most common chords, but on the next page is the order that you're likely to see those chords in, or sequences you're likely to see those chords in. For instance, D major to G major to A7. Now you can practice those chords all you want, and you should get great at all those chords, but it's really nice to learn them and to practice them in a sequence you're likely to see. At the top of the page, you can see I'm going alphabetically, right? A major, A minor, A7, B7. That's not a likely sequence you're going to see in an actual song, just an alphabetical listing of the chords. Okay, so Scott says they use words like smooth progression, moody progression, so on. Scott, if you don't mind, I love it. I love the idea. Do you have a way of emailing me that link? Here's the email address, info@song-bike.com. Okay, so I just put my email address in the chat. It's info@song-bike.com. Scott, if you happen to come across that again, or the name of the Facebook channel or whatever, or whatever you want to send me, I'd appreciate it. That's a great idea. Okay, let's do this. Target notes in the key of G. This came up. Bruce from Sydney. Bruce, I think this was related to something that you talked about. There are no physical challenges on this page. 4 really common chords that I hope you guys are all comfortable with. G, E minor, C, and D7. The reason I'm saying there's no physical challenge is because this page is about using your brain in a different way. It's not about how good you are at a C chord or something like that. Although, yeah, it involves that. But okay, the scenario is a very familiar scenario. You're playing a song in the key of G. And if you're playing a song in the key of G, it's extremely likely that you'll come across the 4 chords at the top of the page, G, E minor, C, and D7. I could have gone with regular D, but I went with D7. You'll see why in a minute. It's extremely likely that you've come across that chord progression already, maybe with a D instead of a D7, and you're going to see it a lot in the future. It might not be in that exact order, but yeah, if that looks kind of familiar, yeah, you've seen it before. Okay, so that's our scenario, a common chord progression in the key of G. The G major pentatonic scale, also known as the rock scale. It's a scale that gets used in so much popular music, as you remember me saying earlier. In the center of the page, that tab, that's the most common, the easiest way to play the G major pentatonic scale. There's other ways of playing the G major pentatonic scale, but that's just a really nice, easy one based on, open strings and 2nd and 3rd frets. Okay. Underneath every number, I put the name of the note because that's why we're here. We're going to target certain notes because anyone who's improvising, or maybe you're writing a cool intro to a song, you're composing a melody to go on top of those chords. You're going to want to know the name of the note you're playing and the chord that's happening at that given moment. Okay. So at the bottom of the page are 2 diagrams. The diagram on the left shows you where your fingers are pressing if you're playing that G major pentatonic scale that's tabbed out in the middle of the page. If you left big black fingerprints, that's where your fingerprints would be. I didn't make this 100% clear. I put the names of the strings, E, A, D, G, B, E, but you're including those open strings, right? I could have put O's up there, but the bottom line is, if you were improvising in the key of G major, every open string is fair game. You're allowed to play all those strings as open strings, as well as the 3s and the 2s that are indicated in the tab, okay? Again, some of you might just use the tab to get this scale in your head and life is good. For others of you, it might be helpful to that diagram on the left. Okay. Diagram on the right, 2 notes, C and F sharp, each one, an octave or 2 apart. Those notes are not in the G major pentatonic scale, but those notes are in the D7 chord. So if the band is on a D7 chord, you are 100% within your rights to step outside the G major pentatonic scale and play the note C or F sharp, because literally those are chord tones, right? By the way, under the chord progression, in those boxes, I put the 3 or 4 notes that make up the chord. The G chord is made up of G, B, and D, and E minor is made up of E, G, and B. I put those letters in lowercase just to be creative, RB is saying it's a very popular open scale. Yeah, exactly. An open position scale. You got it. Let me make sure no one's trying to tell me anything important here. I usually turn my volume down. Okay. Quiet. Okay. Come on. So you get where I'm coming from here? We're about to tie this stuff together. There we go. That's better. We're about to tie this stuff together in slow motion. Okay. The scenario here is that those 4 chords are going to repeat over and over again. 4 slow beats in each chord. The slower, the better. Your challenge is to play the root note in any octave, I'll explain, during that chord. Ideally, hit it at the moment the band changes to the chord, changes, say, to E minor, you play the note E. And take a look, there's a lot of E's there. There's the open E string, open 6th string, I should say, the open 1st string, and the 4th string, 2nd fret. You got a lot of E's there. So my challenge to you is to master this page so that if nothing else, you can play the root note of each chord right on the downbeat, right as that chord gets played. That means you're playing a G right now, G. And now you're going to play the note E right now. Oh, duh, here comes the C chord. You could play the note C for sure, or an E or a G. We'll talk more about that in a second. And then here comes the D7. Playing the root note. That's the note that shares the name of the chord, G, E, C, or D, at the exact moment the band changes to that chord. Who's the band, bro? Could be you. You could be the band. I'm going to get the looper going again here. Let me make sure this is good. That looks good, looks good, looks good. Give me 1 minute. Okay, there's the loop. I'm going to make it quiet for a second. Okay, so I've got that loop. It's going to keep going. I just turn down the volume a little bit. Okay, I'm going to start making some choices. I need to find 4 notes. I need a G, an E, a C, and a D. So let's keep it simple. I'm going to focus on the 2 skinny strings. When the looper is on the G chord, I'm going to make sure I play the note G, 3rd fret on the skinny string. When the looper changes to the E minor, I'm going to make sure I play the open E string, skinny 1st string. When the band changes to C, I am going to grab that C on the 2nd string. But see the definition of a C chord right under those 4 slash marks? I could play the note E or the note G. Those are chord tones. But my challenge to you is to play the root note. Even if we have to go outside the G major pentatonic scale, that's fine. And when the band changes to D7 chord, I'm going to grab the note D, 2nd string, 3rd fret. Okay, let's do it. It's on the E minor. Okay, we'll let it loop around. There's the C. I'm going to get my G note ready. Here's my G note, 1st string, 3rd fret. Here I go. Open E string. C, 2nd string, 1st fret. D, second string, third fret. Now without me talking. C, D, G, E, C, and then D. Okay, we're not done. We're not done. Now, that sounds rudimentary, but you got to start somewhere. I achieved my goal. I was playing the root note right when the band changed to the chord. Now, I'm going to improvise simply by adding on a few in-between notes. But I'm still going to make it my priority to nail that root note every time because it sounds so good, and you'll see what I mean. G. Okay, what do you think? Thoughts? For the most part, I held true to it. Then I started losing focus. Heard some sirens outside. I don't know, like a little squirrel getting distracted. In case you heard something that was not a note on the page, you were hearing the fire truck across the street. It's life in the big city, man. Life in the big city. Okay, thoughts? You guys see what's going on there? Last thing I'm going to say, a target note is whatever you decide it is. I chose to make the target notes the root notes, or vice versa. I chose to make the root notes the target note because it's so easy to remember. If the band's on an E minor chord, you want to play the note E. You could target a chord tone that's not the root note. So during the course of a G chord, see that little box under the G chord, it says GBD? You could intentionally play a B note, target the B note during the G chord. It sounds great. The B note also sounds good during the E minor chord. How cool is that? How about the E note? The E note sounds good during the E minor, but it also sounds good during the C. Check out the note G. The note G is part of a G chord, of course. It's part of an E minor chord, and it's part of a C chord. See how it says C, E, G under the C chord? So technically, the note G is a chord tone for all three of those, right? And you're allowed to do that. You know, you're allowed to have some fun. Play the G note the whole time through. See what it sounds like. If you made the loop and it's going around over and over again, that's the exact moment you experiment with all this stuff. What does it sound like if I hit a G over and over again? Rock Lobster says, gotta go. Thanks for your time, Mr. Songbike. Rock Lobster, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you to all you guys for being here. Okay, we're going to do our last play along song of the night in a minute. Any questions about what we just did? Because now is the time. This is not the last time, though, that we are going to, it's not the last time that we're going to talk about target notes in this concept. In fact, we can even do this exact lesson plan, in the future. I'd be happy to. Because it's one thing to get the basic idea. It's another thing to do it in real time, Bear with me. Okay, that's good. All right. We started a minute late. We had a few glitches in tonight's show, so I'm okay going another couple minutes if you guys are. We're not in any time crunch, right? Our final, I'm going to stop sharing this one. Our final song of the night, the first time we've ever done 3 virtual play-alongs. Let me scroll up here. Now, this song, I saved a tricky one for last. Okay, let's make this a little bit bigger. Oh, too big. Okay, our final play-along song of the night from the same movie soundtrack, this song called In the Jailhouse Now, sung Tim Blake Nelson. If your screen goes black, do not fret. Although the feedback I've been getting from you all is that the screen is not going black. Okay, so there you go. In the Jailhouse Now, a song that has been recorded by so many people. Do you remember a while back we talked about the blues tune called Trouble in Mind that was recorded by an astounding number of artists? In the Jailhouse Now is another tune like that. However you hear music, especially if you stream music on a streaming service, type in the title of the song and you'd be surprised how many dozens and dozens of versions of this song that you will come across. This version is 100% based on Tim Blake Nelson's singing in the movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Special treat for those of you who are watching here at the end. Oh, I'm going to yodel. Oh, I'll yodel. This isn't being recorded, is it? There will be yodeling. Sure. My wife, if she didn't have a divorce lawyer on speed dial, she does now. Imagine your husband coming home. Hey, you know what, honey? I think I'm a pretty good yodeler. Tell me you're single without telling me you're single. I'm a really good yodeler. We're about to find out. Okay, but let's get down to you playing this song. Okay, In the Jailhouse Now. For the record, the song begins with an instrumental chorus section. We are not going to do that. But just so you know, see the middle of the page where it says chorus and there's an arrow pointing to G, G, C, C, and then a bunch of D7s. Okay, that's how the song begins. We're going to get right into the verse of the song. Because frankly, it's without some cool other instruments and mandolin and stuff. It sounds awfully boring to hear a joker like me just strum the guitar through the chorus. Okay. Guess what? We're back in the world of boom, chick, boomed. I had a friend. Oh, capo at the 4th fret. Ooh, darn it. I meant to put that on there. Capo at the 4th fret. Repeat. Capo at the 4th fret. There we go. This is how you enable yourself to play along with the original. At this point in the show, you guys are pretty familiar with the boom chick strum. Every slash mark is a boom chick. I count 8 boom chicks on the first line of the verse on the G chord, 4 boom chicks on the second line on the G chord, followed by 4 boom chicks on the C chord. You with me on that? Make this a little bit softer. I had a friend named Ramblin' Bob. That's going to be the vibe we're going for right here, okay? I'm capoed at the 4th fret because that's how we make sure we can play along with the actual recording. If you are going to sing along and enjoy the song your own way, you do not have to capo at the 4th fret, obviously, right? You can remove the capo altogether, move it higher or lower, whatever works for you. Smartest guy in town. Okay, so the verse, a lot of time on the G chord, a lot of time on the C chord. The A7 is part of the verse. Okay, the A7 is part of the verse. We have 4 boom chicks on the A7, followed by 2 boom chicks on the D7, and then see that D7 in the box? Again, this is still part of the verse. And it says stop up above it. You just hit that D7 1, and you just stop. Because the singer sings, he's in the jailhouse now. Okay, on the word now, you have now entered the chorus. See that arrow, that little bendy arrow pointing to the G, G, C, C? There's the chorus. The chorus spends an extraordinary amount of time on the D7 chord, but that's okay. The chorus leads into the yodeling section. Believe me, I wanted to find a way to dodge yodeling, And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. So the yodeling section it happens every time the chorus wraps up. It leads to the yodel section. Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman, right? I believe he's the author of this song. Jimmy Rogers, known for his yodel. I don't know. I think we should jump in and do it. Let's do it. Everyone got the capo on 4th fret. I know it doesn't say that on the screen. Capo on the 4th fret. I had a friend named Ramblin' Bob. He used to stay gambling. Okay, we're gonna take it nice and slowly. Whatever happens, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna shift this around. Oh, maybe I'll use my cool. Oh, look at that! I'm shining for the record. I'm shining my music stand light on the music. All right, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Let's do it. I'll see you on the other side. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had a friend named Ramblin' Bob who used to steal, gamble, and rob. Thought he was the smartest guy in town. But I found out last Monday that Bob got locked up on Sunday. They got him in the jailhouse way downtown. He's in the jailhouse now. He's in the jailhouse now. I told him once or twice to quit playing cards and shooting dice. He's in the jailhouse now. Idiole, idiole, yodiole, yodiole. He played a game called poker, pinochle, whist, and euchre. But shooting dice was his greatest game. Now he's downtown in jail, nobody to go his bail. The judge done said that he refused the fine. He's in the jailhouse now. He's in the jailhouse now. I told him once or twice to quit playing cards and shooting dice. He's in the jailhouse now. Adio day, adio day, adio lay, your delay. Last verse. I went out last Tuesday. I met a girl named Susie. I told her I was the swellest man around. We started to spend my money. Then she started to call me a honey. We took in every cabaret in town. I'm in the jailhouse now. We're in the jailhouse now. I told the judge right to his face, we didn't like to see this place. We're in the jailhouse now. We're in the jailhouse now. All right, there you go. In the jailhouse now. What can I tell you? Depending on whose version you may play along with, the capo might not be at the 4th fret. There's a lot of versions out there. All right. Is that a note to end on? Possibly. Possibly. ladies and gentlemen, I think I've done everything that I set out to do, and then some. I will look into the Discord link. Thank you for the heads up. I'm going to put a lot in the description of this live stream, including a link to Glen Campbell doing the William Tell Overture. What else? I'll put some links in there regarding John Oates playing live. Let's check in with our poll. Here's your last chance. This will be the final thing before I say goodnight. Your last chance to vote in the poll. What was the poll question? If you were in a Beatles tribute band, what Beatle would you be? It's not too late to vote. I'll tell you the results in a minute, but it's not too late. Not surprisingly, the drummer got the least amount of votes. That's okay. We're a guitar crowd. I get that. I'm very interested in the results, which are probably not going to change. Even if we got a few dozen people watching right now, the results are not going to change that dramatically. So here's the preliminary results. The plurality of viewers tonight voted for George. If you could be anybody, you'd be George. Interesting. I did not see that coming. 42% would be George if you were in a Beatles tribute band. A lot of good guitar playing, a lot of great songs. Of course, you could sing just fine. All those harmonies. George always had sweet guitars too. If you were in a Beatles tribute band, 27% of you would like to be Paul. 23% would like to be John. And, you know, maybe surprisingly, 9% of you would like to be good old Ringo. Why not? Why not? So there you go. There's the poll results. At the last minute, Static Zigzag said, Ringo, vote for Ringo. All right. You know, hey, sometimes you don't decide until you're right there in the voting booth, and you got to make up your mind. All right, you guys, that was a long one. Thanks for sticking with us. I wish you happy Easter. Those of you who celebrate Easter tomorrow, we're going to be heading up to see my son at his college, have a nice little dinner up there. Very excited. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Who knows what will happen? I sure don't. My weekend begins now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. I'll see you next time.